Hey there, grade 6. New video for you guys today. This is dividing decimals by whole numbers. This is just an introduction that you'll be working on today. And so our learning target is that by the end you should be able to divide decimals by whole numbers using both base 10 materials and place values. And then so a couple of skills that you're going to need to have to be able to do some of this stuff. You need to be able to multiply whole numbers using base 10 materials and place values. You need to be able to divide using long division, so the standard algorithm for long division. And then you need to know your place value relationships for decimals up to the tenths, so like ones, tenths. That's kind of what you need to know, tens as well. All right, so where we're going to start is using our base 10 materials to model division of decimals by whole numbers that doesn't need any regrouping. And so we're going to use base 10 materials to model this division. And so here we have 3.6 divided by 3, and I've pre-drawn some shapes. So these represent the ones, and then these rods represent the tenths. And so it's 3 ones and then 6 tenths. So the first thing that we're going to do is we've represented the 3.6 using base 10 materials. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to divide the materials into 3 equal groups. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just group some stuff together, if I can mess around with it enough. There we go. And so I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move these two over here, because what I'm doing is I'm taking like our 6 tenths and then trying to regroup them into 3 equal groups. Not sure why the thing's not working real well. And here's the other one. It's a bit of overlap. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move these guys over here. And so what I'm trying to represent is I've divided this number into 3 equal groups. And so and I'll just draw a little circle around one of those groups. Say this right here. And then so one of those groups represents 1.2. And so if we are dividing 3.6 by 3, that's going to be our answer. We're going to get 1.2 because we've regrouped and we've sort of rearranged our base 10 models. Okay, so then a bit of extra practice. And again, you're welcome to pause this if you would like and try it on your own. But we are going to be needing to divide these 4.2 into 2 equal groups. And so what I'm going to start doing is just reorganizing some of our stuff. And then I'll just draw a little circle around one of those groups. And then I can say that 4.2 divided by 2 is going to equal 2.1 because after I've done the reorganization. Okay. So if you would like, you can work on like number 1 in the workbook. All right, so the next thing that we're going to look at, the second part of 3 parts, is that we're going to be using place values to model division of decimals without regrouping. And what we're going to do is just use our place value, we know, like ones and tenths, etc. So we're going to split 6.8 up into 6 ones and 8 tenths, and I'll just try to reorganize them a little bit neater. There we go. And so we're going to take our 6 ones and 8 tenths, and we're going to divide both those numbers by 2. And so 6 divided by 2 is going to give us 3. And 8 divided by 2 is going to give us 4. So when we divide 6.8 divided by 2, we're going to get 3 ones and 4 tenths, which is just going to be 3.4. And that's using our proper decimal notation. Okay, so a bit extra practice, and again, this is the way you can set it up. I'm going to let you pause it if you would like, and then I'll unpause it when you're done. But we're going to break up 4.2 here, and so that's going to give us 4 ones, and it's going to give us 2 tenths, and then I'm going to do my division. So 4 divided by 2 is going to give me 2 ones, and then 2 tenths divided by 2 is going to give me 1 tenth, and then expressing my answer in proper decimal notation is going to be 2.1. So then I can say 4.2 divided by 2 equals 2.1. And if you would like, you can pause it now and you can start working on number 2 in the workbook on, I believe it's page 37. So this one moves on to what's called the standard algorithm. So this is just our skill about being able to do long division. This one does not, some of them do, this one does not require any regrouping. So we're going to do our division. This is going to be 648 divided by 2. This is our 2 is our divisor, 648 is our dividend, and so we can just start seeing, well, 2 goes into 6 3 times. I'm going to try and shrink this text down a little bit, maybe to 24. And then so 2 times 3 is going to give us 6, and that's going to leave us 0 remainder. Then we move over, 2 goes into 4 2 times, and so 2 times 4 is 4, and it will also give us 0 remainder. We move on, 2 goes into 8 4 times, and then 2 times 4 is going to be 8, and it is going to give us no remainder at all. So move this over a little bit. So 648 divided by 2 is going to give us 324. Now over here, we have 64.8. So basically we've taken these numbers and just added in a decimal place. So that's going to give us 6 tens, 4 ones, and 8 tenths. And so if we're going to start writing it out, 6 tens divided by 2 is going to give us 3 tens. 4 ones divided by 2 will give us 2 ones. And then 8 tenths divided by 2 will give us 4 tenths. And then we like to express in decimal notation. So it's going to give us 32.4. So basically, if we imagine for a second that there would be like a decimal place right here, you would just have to make sure you put the decimal place over above where it is on the thing. Not the thing, the quotient. So what's the same about the quotients? The numbers are the same. What's different is the decimal place. But the thing is the same. The process is the same, basically. So here we have to divide a decimal by a whole number, perform the division using the algorithm as if there were no decimal point, and then place the decimal point in the correct place in the quotient, which we did on the other question. So then we're going to do some calculation of 82.4 divided by 2. Okay, and so I have my 2 goes into 8 4 times. So 2 times 4 is 8. And there is 0 left over. 2 goes into 2 1 time. 2 times 1 is 2. And that's going to give us 0 left over. And then 2 goes into 4 2 times. And 2 times 2 is 4. And that is also going to give us 0 as a remainder. So again, I'll just move some stuff around a little bit to make it look a little clearer. So 2 goes into 824 412 times, and there is no remainder. So it's even like that. All right. So 824 divided by 2, we said was 412. And so if we imagine for a second that there was a decimal place right here, what we would have to remember to do is to put it above in our answer, in our quotient as well. And so what we're going to get is 41.2. And so again, I've sort of neatly pre-drawn the question here, but we're going to do 63.9 divided by 3. Let's see if I can keep it small. 3 goes into 6. The hand drawing one. It goes in 2 times. So 2 times 3 is 6. Do the subtraction. 0 left over. Bring down our 3. So 3 goes into 3 1 time. 3 times 3, or 3 minus 3 is 0. We bring down our 9 all the way to the bottom. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. I'm out of room, but 9 minus 9 is 0. I have to remember the decimal place is here, so I got to put it over top of this. And what I can say is that 63 divided by 9 is 21.9. 3. Those are sort of the 3 different ways that we're going to be dividing decimals by whole numbers in the workbook. And so you're welcome to move on to number 3 and number 4 in your workbook. It's just a short lesson, and it's found on page 37 and 38. And so, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.